The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
I mean, imagine dropping a massive bombshell to millions of people, getting all these congratulations, but knowing perfectly well that the pregnancy test you're holding up was taken over a year ago.
It is the ultimate reality TV glitch. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, our deep dive is totally focused on Angelina Pivarnick from Jersey Shore Family Vacation.
Right, and her completely shocking pregnancy announcement.
Yeah.
To really unpack this, we're pulling from a whole stack of celebrity news outlets. We've got TMZ, The Blast, In Touch Weekly, Parade, and Swoon.
Yeah, and we're looking at her highly documented biographical background, too, because our mission today isn't just to recap a TV episode.
No, definitely not.
We want to untangle this fascinating, sometimes really messy intersection of reality TV production timelines, these highly publicized personal struggles, and just the intense scrutiny of influencer culture.
Exactly. We're going to help you understand not just what happened on your screen, but why the timeline of this announcement is literally confusing the entire internet.
Right, because it really breaks the illusion of reality TV.
It totally does. And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed because we've got even crazier stories ahead. But let's get into the actual broadcast.
Yes, let's set the scene.
So we're looking at the May 14th, 2026 broadcast of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. This is season 9. And the setting of this reveal is it's almost surreal.
It really is. I mean, the cast is all gathered for a kid's birthday party.
Right, it's Mike the Situation, Sorrentino's daughter, Luna. Her first birthday.
Yeah, so picture it. You have, balloons, cake, all the typical first birthday fanfare going on in the main room.
But then, tucked away from all that celebration, inside a bathroom, Angelina is holding a pregnancy test.
Mm-hmm. And she's got her co-star, Sammi sweetheart Giancola, right by her side.
And the emotional weight in that tiny room is just heavy.
Oh, completely. When that test comes back positive, the reaction is so raw. Sammi immediately gets super emotional. She tells Angelina, I got chills. I'm going to cry for you.
Wow.
But Angelina's reaction is what really anchors the whole scene, She is in sheer, absolute disbelief.
Right, because of everything she had been through.
Exactly. Her quote on the show was, "There's no way that it just happened naturally. I did not think I was able to get pregnant, but wow, I'm pregnant."
It's just a masterclass in dramatic irony, honestly. The contrast between her absolute shock in the bathroom and the oblivious party going on outside.
And don't forget Mike Sorrentino.
Oh my gosh, yes. Mike somehow discovers the secret during the party, and he's awkwardly trying to congratulate her without ruining the surprise for everyone else.
It's so funny. He corners her and he's sending her positive vibes about a new house coming shortly as this thinly veiled cover story.
A new house. That is hilarious. But to really understand why she's staring at that plastic stick in total disbelief, you have to look at the psychological toll of the months leading up to this.
Yeah, you really do.
Because Angelina had been incredibly open on the show about her intense desire to be a mother and, her underlying fears that it simply might not happen for her biologically.
Right. It's think about it preparing for this grueling, incredibly expensive cross-country road trip, right?
Okay.
You buy the maps, you save all your money, you mentally brace yourself for this exhausting journey, and then suddenly you just snap your fingers and you're magically teleported to the destination.
Oh, wow. That is a perfect way to describe it.
You'd be standing there in total shock, just thinking, wait, how did I get here? And that is exactly the energy she's radiating in that bathroom. She was fully armored for a medical battle, and then suddenly she didn't need the armor.
Right, because before this moment, Angelina had already purchased donor sperm.
Yes. She revealed earlier in the season that she was literally keeping a vial of it in her refrigerator.
Just right next to the leftover takeout.
Exactly. And she'd already begun the early consultation stages for IVF, so this was a profound level of commitment.
It really was. And that's not even the wildest part. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking timeline twist nobody saw coming. But first, we have to talk about the phone call.
Oh, right, the phone call. So immediately after the shock wears off, she calls the apparent father to share the news.
On camera, she tells him, I am officially, definitely pregnant.
But then she playfully refers to him on the show as John Doe-Nor.
John Doe-Nor, which That nickname actually connects to a massive controversy that erupted just before this episode aired, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So in a previous episode, Angelina made this joke to her castmates. She joked about having unprotected sex with, quote, multiple men and having her pickings to get pregnant.
Oh, right. She said, I have needs, and they have needs.
Exactly. And the public backlash to that passing comment was just immediate and severe.
People took it totally literally.
Entirely at face value. It actually forced Angelina to post a defensive statement on Instagram and X. She had to publicly clarify that she was just employing dark humor, that there were no multiple men, and that the whole television narrative didn't reflect her real-life values.
See, I really have to question the mechanics of reality TV here. Like, did producers encourage her to lean into that multiple men narrative just for higher ratings?
Honestly, it happens all the time.
Right. So she's pushed to create this wild storyline in the safety of a closed set, but then she's the one left totally alone to do real-world damage control online when the audience takes it as fact.
Exactly, and it exposes this fascinating flaw in the genre. Reality TV heavily punishes its stars for using sarcasm or hyperbole.
Because of the parasocial relationships.
Yes, when you watch a confessional interview, the star is looking directly into the camera lens. Psychologically, it simulates a one-on-one conversation.
It creates this false sense of intimacy.
Right, because you feel like you truly know them. When they make an off-the-cuff remark in a highly edited environment, you receive it as a literal confession of their real-world behavior.
Wow, yeah. So the star is doing real-time damage control for a joke made during filming. And that time lag is exactly what makes this whole situation uniquely bizarre.
It really shifts the narrative from typical reality TV drama to a real-world chronological mystery.
So let's do the math on this production cycle because it is wild.
Please do.
The episode featuring the positive pregnancy test just aired on May 14th, 2026. But according to sources like Parade and Swoon, that footage was actually captured over a year ago.
In March 2025.
Right, which means a full 14 months have passed since she stood in that bathroom with a positive test.
And last I checked, human gestation is only 9 months.
Exactly. Yet if you look at her social media today, there is no baby to be seen.
None at all.
And she didn't appear pregnant in any photos taken or events attended after March 2025.
Which just adds so much confusion. And the timeline actually gets even more convoluted.
Wait, how?
Well, in September 2025, which would be 6 months after that positive test was filmed, she posted a photo to her Instagram story from what looked like a fertility clinic.
6 months later.
Yeah. And in a separate post, she confirmed she, quote, became pregnant at some point, but she deliberately didn't specify the outcome of that pregnancy.
Okay, that creates massive cognitive dissonance because a network television production cycle operates at, like, a glacial pace compared to the internet.
Oh, absolutely. You've got hundreds of hours of raw footage that needs to be storyboarded, edited, cleared by legal, and assigned a broadcast slot.
That pipeline takes a year.
Yeah.
But social media demands instant updates.
Right. So we have a positive test in March 2025, a fertility clinic visit in September 2025, no baby in May 2026.
But wait, despite all of that, when the episode aired on May 14th, 2026, Angelina literally tweeted, "I'm pregnant, #Jaya's family vacation."
Because she is contractually obligated to play along with the broadcast schedule, she has to react to her own past as if it's her present.
That is insane. It's exactly like looking at stars in the night sky.
How do you mean?
Well, when you look up, you're reacting to this bright, dramatic light, right? But that light actually originated light years, or in this case, 14 months ago.
Oh, I see.
You're reacting to drama that's already dead. It's impossible to know what the current reality is based on the light reaching your eyes today.
That is such a good analogy because as a viewer, you're armed with Instagram timestamps and basic biological math. You know the present looks vastly different.
Yeah, you're no longer just passively enjoying a TV show.
No, you are forced to play amateur detective, analyzing background details and cross-referencing dates to uncover what the network is trying to hide.
Which is wild. How does a network sustain a 14-month secret in the age of social media?
Honestly, it's structurally unfeasible. Asking a cast member to hide the outcome of a pregnancy for over a year while still maintaining an active daily social media presence for brand sponsorships, it's just asking the impossible.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because we really need to talk about why this specific pregnancy is breaking the internet.
Oh, for sure. The intense scrutiny isn't just happening because it's a reality TV show. It's happening because it's Angelina.
Exactly. To understand why this feels like such a massive milestone,
Yeah.
you really have to look at the legacy of the shore and her incredibly tumultuous path.
She has always been this controversial figure, like the primary antagonist within the Jersey Shore ecosystem.
Oh, definitely. I mean, famously evicted from the Shore House in season 1 because she refused to work her shift at the Boardwalk t-shirt shop.
Right. She packed all her belongings in black trash bags and just left.
And then she returned for season 2 in Miami, only to leave the house again after those violent physical altercations with Snooki and Mike.
She was always the perennial outsider. It wasn't until the Family Vacation spinoff years later that she returned as a full-time integrated cast member.
But even with her return, her personal life has remained incredibly rocky.
Extremely. She married Chris Larangeira in 2019, which was heavily featured on the show, and then they were divorced by 2022.
And then she gets engaged to Vinny Tortorella in 2023.
Right. But that engagement ended in January 2025.
Which is just weeks before this pregnancy test was filmed.
Exactly. And it was a highly publicized, messy split. There were cheating allegations on both sides. Police were reportedly even called to her home regarding a domestic altercation.
So because of that chaotic timeline, Angelina actually had to publicly confirm that her ex-fiancé, Vinny Tortorella, is definitely not the father of the baby from the March 2025 test.
Yes. And fellow castmate Vinny Guadagnino, a totally different Vinny, also took to X to clarify the child isn't his.
Wait, why did he have to clarify that?
Because he had previously joked on the show about stepping in to help her out with her fertility journey.
Oh my gosh, the layers of clarification required just to announce a pregnancy are wild. It really highlights the extreme toxicity that surrounded her romantic arcs.
It does. But we also have to recognize she's crossing a significant demographic threshold here.
Right, because almost the entire Jersey Shore cast has entered parenthood now.
Yeah, Snooki, Pauly D, JWoww, Dina, Mike, Ronnie, and Sammi all have kids.
Vinny Guadagnino is literally the lone remaining child-free cast member.
He is. So Angelina joining the parent club is a huge shift.
But given the extreme toxicity of her recent breakups and her chaotic history, I have to ask, is bringing a child into the intense public fishbowl of this ecosystem a fairy tale ending? Or is it just a recipe for unimaginable stress?
That is the big question. But you have to look at how the show has successfully pivoted its brand. Over 15 years, MTV transitioned from 20-somethings partying in Seaside Heights to a multi-generational family docuseries.
Right, they went from avoiding grenades at the club to baby showers and IVF consultations.
Exactly. The network deliberately aged the show up alongside its millennial core demographic.
So the setting changes from the nightclub to the nursery, but the underlying mechanics of the job remain identical.
Precisely. The fundamental requirement of reality television is to mine your personal life, your trauma, and your intimate relationships for public consumption.
Which means bringing a child into that environment turns their developmental milestones into season-long storylines.
Yeah. And for someone with a history of volatile relationships and deep public scrutiny, that pressure cooker doesn't just depressurize because the subject matter shifted to motherhood.
Honestly, it arguably magnifies the pressure. I mean, getting into a screaming match with a roommate in your 20s makes for great television with minimal long-term stakes.
Right.
But navigating a high-conflict divorce or trying to co-parent on national television introduces permanent, real-world consequences for a child who never even signed a broadcasting contract.
And this circles right back to why she felt so fiercely defensive about the audience misinterpreting her multiple men joke.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, as she transitions into this highly anticipated mom era, she is acutely aware of how her legacy is being framed.
The backlash to an off-color joke hits completely differently when you're actively trying to establish a stable maternal image.
Exactly. So she's fighting on all fronts. She's managing her real-time public image while dealing with the fallout of a TV narrative filmed over a year ago.
Wow, we have covered incredible ground today.
We really have.
I mean, we started with a truly shocking bathroom pregnancy test at a one-year-old's birthday party, unpacked the clinical reality of a vial of donor sperm sitting in the fridge.
And the mystery of the man nicknamed John Doe-Nor.
Yes. Plus, navigating that intense public outrage over a sarcastic comment that fans took way too literally.
Which really highlights the dangers of those parasocial relationships we talked about.
And finally, we hit the brick wall of a 14-month timeline paradox that has everyone playing amateur detective.
Trying to reconcile a positive test in March 2025 with an "I'm pregnant" tweet in May 2026.
And absolutely no baby in sight. It is a wild ride.
It leaves you with a much larger question to ponder about modern entertainment, really.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if a reality TV show is delayed by over a year and social media demands instant, real-time updates from those exact same influencers, is the era of the reality TV reveal fundamentally broken?
That is such a good point. When the reality we consume is essentially just a manufactured time capsule, can we ever truly share in these raw moments?
Yeah.
Or are we just watching a highly edited ghost of the past?
It definitely makes you wonder how much longer this illusion can hold before the timeline simply collapses on itself.
Absolutely. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.